Hi, I'm Tracy G, and this is Marilee O, and we are here to get you through this crisis during our coronavirus times. So I'm just going to take you through a practice. Follow along. I'll give you modifications. It's really a beautiful thing to get on your mat, to get inside of your own space and give yourself that gift. So let's come on into child's pose. In child's pose, we're going to separate the knees nice and wide, just so that you can start to breathe and open up into your hips. And I'd like for you to slowly find some inhales and exhales. So this is not forced breath, it's ujjayi breathing. The breath is done with your mouth closed, and it's done through the glottis. So that's that little horseshoe here by the throat. So it's an audible breath, and it builds internal heat, so it gets you nice and warm for your practice. So while we're here, we're just gonna slowly lift the head and chest up, and we're gonna walk the upper body over to the right side. So we're just gonna get nice and long. So as far to the right as it feels good, you'll reach your fingertips out and create a little lengthened space from your left shoulder along the rib cage. We just wanna feel a little bit of something. So we're not even warm yet. This is just to feel good. Go ahead and lift the head and chest up, and we'll take the upper body over to your left side. And we're gonna find a nice long reach. So we're using the floor as our leverage. I want you to press down through your palms and extend a little energy through your fingertips. And then we'll come back center, and we'll press up onto the hands and knees. So let's go ahead and bring your knees under your hips. We'll bring your wrists under your shoulders, and we're gonna spread the fingers as wide as you can, lining your middle fingers up with your shoulders. And then what I'd like you to do is press down through the floor and bring your chest away from the floor, and then rotate your elbows. Marilee already has her elbows rotated back. So she's gonna bring, if your elbows are out here, I want you to turn them in and engage through those triceps. So she's got strong arms. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up onto the balls of the feet. And I'll tell you now, Marilee has a little bit of a toe issue, so I'll modify some things for her, and I'll show you some things as we're going through the class if you need to be on the balls of your feet a little bit more. And then just go ahead and look out slightly in front of you, pull back through your shoulders, exaggerate a little bit through your seat, find a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let your head drop, relax through the top of your feet and around your belly button all the way up towards your chest. And we'll find two more of those. We're up on the toes, pull back through the shoulders, we're breathing in. And on the exhale, we'll round and tuck it. So we're bringing the belly button all the way up, exaggerate to feel the length here. One more time, let's open it up, breathe it in, push back through the heels. And on the exhale, we'll round and tuck it up. We're gonna stay here, let your breath flow here. We're bringing the belly button up, so you're breathing here. We're lengthening through the lumbar. We're driving energy through the floor, through the palms for 5. Keep tucking it. 4, 3, for 2. And then we'll relax back center, and we'll take the hips a little bit side to side. So this one's just a feel good where your hips are moving. You can round up a little bit. So whatever feels good for you, you can tuck up through your upper back. Very nice. And then let's go ahead and step back on the ball of your right foot. So Marilee, you don't have to use a lot of leverage on those toes if that doesn't feel good for you, but while you're watching, if it feels good, I want you to feel some energy through that Achilles and through the calf. We're just finding a little length here. And then we'll switch sides. Right knee comes under. We'll press back on the ball of that left foot. Little energy through that left heel. We're breathing into that left Achilles, the arch of that left foot. And then go ahead and step that right foot back across from your left so that we're in a high plank position. So in her high plank position, she's on the balls of the feet, and she's on an angle from her shoulders through her hips, the knees, and the ankles. So we're gonna tuck up through the pelvis a little bit, and we'll squeeze through the thighs. And we're gonna drive the chest away from the floor. So we have a strong plank, and the abdominals are turning on. So once you tuck that pelvis, you can start to engage through your abdominals so that you feel like you have that whole plank active energy. We're pressing away from the floor, and then very slowly find your downward facing dog. So we're gonna drive your seat high and let your head drop low. And we're walking the arms out so that we're in an inverted V, right? Like a nice long lengthening where her head drops down towards the floor so that she can create and breathe into the shoulders. So if you're really tight, you certainly can keep your dog a little bit shorter if you need to. This is a feel good for you. We're getting as long as you can be with your heels naturally lifted off the floor. So if your heels are already in the floor, you're already that long, so don't waste your time walking your feet all the way up just yet. We're gonna let those guys open up a little bit. And then from here, Mare, while you're looking at your toes, just say a nice slow motion no, nice and easy. So there's no tension, there's no stress in your neck. We're just kind of hanging loose. And then relax your head back center, and we'll stretch your right leg up to the sky. So go ahead and reach up through your toes. So extend out through the top of your foot, point your toes to the wall that's behind you, and then circle through that ankle. Just a little mobility through that ankle joint, both directions, big circle around. Yeah, take it the other way. And then we'll flex the toes in. So flexion is toes in towards your kneecap. We're gonna bend that right knee, and we're gonna roll open through the hip. So now we just wanna breathe into that psoas here. And she's still keeping a nice active foot, so you want energy that's pushing through that side wall. And we're gonna make sure that we're not turning these toes. So these toes are gonna stay in line with this guy, and this is still just lengthening out through this whole side of the leg. That's beautiful. And then we'll bring that right foot to the floor, and the left leg gets high. Reach through the toes, extension through the top of that foot, circle through that ankle, big circles both ways around. And then we'll flex the toes in, bend that knee, roll open through that left side, peeling back through the rib cage. So as she curls in and finds the flexion, the hamstring's on, the glute is on, we're breathing for 5. We're chilling out through this leg. So make sure you're not up on your tippy toes. You're just gonna let this guy relax for 3, for 2, and we'll bring that left foot to the floor. Let's come back to child's pose. So if this is your first time doing the practice, child's pose is home base. You'll come here as many times as you need to. Even if we're flowing through the rest of the practice, please feel free to drop down into your child's pose at any time and then come back into the practice when you feel stronger. Because if this is new for you, it's going to take you a little while to build up the strength. So we'll come back into down dog, getting nice and long. We're going to keep the knees as straight as you can. So maybe you have a big bend, maybe you have a small bend. Every body is different. So don't think that you're going to look like Marilee in any of the poses. We're going to take one little baby step at a time, and we're going to keep the legs as straight as you can to feel the stretch and the length in the back of the legs, in the low back. We're walking the toes all the way up to the wrists, and your feet will stay hip-width distance apart. We're going to drop our palms flat onto your shins, and we're going to lift up as high as you need to find a nice long spine. So she has nice length in her back. She's exaggerating through her seat, stretching out through the glutes. Let's find a big breath in here, and as you exhale, go ahead and fold yourself forward and grab on, and give yourself a little hug. So you can just grab your calves. You can use your fingertips outside the edges of your feet as well. So let's do that again. Find the lift halfway. Find the breath in, push back through the seat, and then as you exhale, you can bring your fingertips to the floor if your legs are already straight, and use the floor as leverage to fold in or work in here. So forward fold is a pose. You want to feel something. Don't just hang out. One more time. We'll take that lift. Find the length, breathe it in, and as you exhale, let's fold it. Maybe we're going a little deeper this time for 5, 4, 3, 2. Beautiful. Now we'll grab the elbows, opposite elbow to hand. We're going to hang out in ragdoll. So ragdoll, you can have your knees bent a lot. So Mara, bend your knees a lot. You can have your chest resting on your thighs. So maybe this feels more comfortable for you as you're starting out. And you can relax your head and you can just kind of chill out there. Or if it feels better, you can straighten your legs and you can sway yourself side to side. So you can take a nice big movement and move through your low back. And if it feels good while you're here, you can even make it real big and just kind of pull to the side and pull out of your low back. For me, that feels really good, but it's not for everyone, so it depends on how it feels for you. We'll drop the arms down. So now we're just going to hang loose. Lift yourself up enough so that you are not touching the floor with your fingertips. And then you'll look back through your legs and relax through your head. And then you're just going to make big circles hanging out. You're just making big circles, letting your arms hang to the floor, and then reverse it. So I want you to really hang loose like dead weight. Just kind of let gravity take over. And then we'll relax back center. We'll heel toe the feet together. So walk your feet in towards each other till they touch each other. And then we're going to take the arms out to the side, and we're going to reach up high to the sky. Breathe in as you lift your thighs and your glutes, and then bring your hands to your heart center. So we'll press right here. So we're going to start a little bit of a flow with sun salutation A. There's a lot of energy through the fingertips, a lot of energy through the whole body as we flow through this. So go ahead and reach your arms out wide, stretch up high, breathe in. We're bringing the sternum up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, reach out to the front wall and push your seat back at the same time. Lower down, forward fold. So she has her knees slightly bent. If it feels better, straighten your legs. Find a lift halfway. We're going to lengthen the spine and then step back into your high plank. So if you do a full yoga practice, you might want to jump back. Maybe you like that energy and that power in it. You can always jump your feet back into your plank position. So now Marilee's turned her plank on, her quads are strong, she's driving energy away. I want you to stay in the plank for a few breaths so that you take the time to actually really feel the movement. We're going to come into our first chaturanga. So bring your knees to the floor, but keep your hips nice and flat. So she's not pushing her butt back. She's still on that angle from the shoulders to the hips. This is a modification. We're going to modify the first one. As we lower down, we're going to keep the elbows stacked on top of the wrists. So she's going to lower down until her shoulders come in line with the elbows. So if this is too much for you, so this is a modification. If you need to modify a little more, go ahead and press yourself straight up, Mare. If you're modifying a little more, then you'll lower that down, come on down, and you'll bring your pelvis to the floor. And you'll keep your shoulders still in line with your elbows. So I don't want you to jam your shoulders down into the floor on this pose. And then now she's relaxed in the floor, release through the toes, find your modified up dog, straighten the arms, bring the shoulder blades together. So in our up dog, I want to really make it clear that I don't want you to look up. That's compression through your cervical spine, through your neck. So we're not doing that beautiful pose where you're looking all the way up into the sky through every one. And then she's going to press from her knees to her toes, and we're in downward facing dog. So that's really a nice way to love your spine through the pose if you are not doing a regular yoga practice. If your back is strong and it feels good, come on into your high plank. We'll find a full chaturanga. So remember, we got to move a little bit forward as you lower down. She's walking her toes up a little bit towards her face so that her elbows are on top of her wrists. And we're still keeping that pelvis tucked. Now, she'll place one foot at a time into up dog. So come on up, bring the shoulder blades together. Now her thighs are lifted off the floor. That's a lot of energy, a lot of work. You can keep your knees in the floor to modify. And then downward facing dog, you can either press from your knees or take one foot at a time. That's beautiful. And then in down dog, we're just going to breathe right here. So you can relax through your face. We have full inhales and exhales. And then we'll bend the knees and we'll step or take a light jump of your feet up to the front of your mat. Feet come together. We're going to find a lift halfway. We're breathing in. As you exhale, forward fold. We're starting to get a little warm, so take it a little tighter. On the inhale, stretch out to the side walls. Reach up high. Breathing in. Gorgeous. Exhale, forward fold. Let's start to flow. Halfway lift, we'll breathe in, find your high plank, step or jump back. Chaturanga, we're going to lower down, tuck those hips. Up dog, we'll fill the lungs up, pull the shoulder blades together, and then downward facing dog, we'll find the exhale where the seat is high, the legs are long, we're still letting those Achilles open up so we're not forcing the heels into the floor. So go ahead and bend your knees a lot until they're almost in the floor. We're loading up our legs right now, and then look out where you want to land, and then go ahead and take that jump of your feet up. Feet together, find a lift halfway. We'll breathe it in, and as you exhale, forward fold. Chair pose. On this one, let's drop the seat. So now we're in a nice seated squat where we're going to tuck the pelvis up a little bit, find a neutral spine, and we're going to lengthen through the upper back. And we're going to squeeze the thighs together. So you want to feel the energy in your chair pose by squeezing the thighs together, getting those quads activated. Find a breath in. As you exhale, forward fold, straighten the legs, dive in. Halfway lift, we'll breathe in here. Come on into your high plank. And now, to get a little creative, point your right toes to the wall behind you. So you can keep both feet in the floor. Chaturanga, we're going to lower down, get a little stronger. Let's stay right here and find 4 little push-ups. For 4, she's taking the whole body with her. 3, if you're modifying, left knees in the floor. 2 feet are in the floor. Up dog, we'll breathe it in, pull the shoulder blades back. Downward facing dog, we'll find the exhale. Left leg, we're going to lengthen it. Left foot lunges, right foot turns. Let's keep the hands right here. So one hand on either side of your foot. You'll bring that left hand out. Yeah, so the edge of your foot is in the floor. So once you're driving that hip, now straighten that left leg. We're just going to go into that warm left hamstring. So here, if you're really tight, you can work with 2 blocks. So if you're tight, you could be up on 2 blocks. What we want to find is that right hip's coming forward. We're lengthening through the spine. And then you can walk the blocks out in front of you and find the breath in. As you exhale now, let your chest drop over that left thigh and find the reach. So if you're not really tight and you're more flexible, you can bring your hands in the floor. Can you bring them in, Mary?
Maybe.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so if you don't want to use the blocks, then you can certainly bring your hands in the floor. And now we just keep reaching the fingertips out, because now it's all about elongation and length. So I want you to think about, on the breaths in, the chest lifts a little bit and we reach the fingertips out. On the exhale, we let the chest drop in, we drive the right hip forward, we engage through that right thigh. If it's available, go ahead and get on that left heel and slide your right hand down your left foot. Maybe the ball of your foot, and then extend your chin towards your toes, breathe in. So again, we're lengthening. On the exhale, find the fold. Dive in. Now use that right arm as a little extra strength, a little more power to get yourself a little deeper into the pose. We're here for 5. We're breathing it. Let it feel good. 4, 3. For 2, we'll pivot onto the ball of that back foot. Step back into your high plank. Very nice. And then we'll point your left toes back behind you. Chaturanga, we're going to lower down 4 little push-ups. They're nice and slow. For 4, we're looking at the floor. 3, awesome. 2, 1 more. We'll drop that left foot, up dog. We're going to breathe it in, pull the shoulder blades together, downward facing dog. On the exhale, right leg is going to get high. Right foot lunges, left foot turns. Yeah, we'll stay right here. And now we'll slide that left foot back if it's available. So we're just creating a little length through that left adductor. We're inside of that right glute. We're keeping that right knee stacked on top of the ankle. And we'll slowly start to walk the fingertips out and straighten that right leg. So we're going to lengthen through that right hamstring. And remember, sometimes one side is more cooperative than the other. One side's tighter than the other. So give yourself a break. Maybe you needed blocks on one side, but you don't need them here. That's fine too. It's all about how it feels for you. Walk your fingertips out long. Lift your chest up. Breathe in. As you exhale, find the fold. So use your fingertips as leverage. They keep lengthening. And on the inhales, we lengthen the spine. On the exhales, we drop the chest a little deeper and the fingertips just get a little bit, maybe a little bit closer to the front edge of your mat. We're driving some energy. There's energy back here through the edge of this foot. We're peeling back through the left quad. And then we're going to get on that right heel. And again, maybe you're already deep in the stretch. You wouldn't go on your right heel if that right hamstring is already talking to you enough. Don't get on your heel. If it feels good, we're on that right heel. Left hand comes down the ball of that left foot. Breathe in as you lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold, and we're going to bend that left elbow. Use that left bicep. Fold into that right thigh. For 5, we're still thinking about that left hip's coming forward. For 4, we're working on the pull. Every single breath, we're tapping into what's going on in the pose. For 3, for 2, we'll drop that foot, bend that knee, pivot that back foot, find your high plank. And chaturanga, we're going to come down nice and slow. Up dog on the breath in. Bring the shoulder blades together. Downward facing dog as we exhale. Beautiful. Let's take your left hand outside of your right knee, just for a little torso twist, a little stretch here. So she's down by her ankle because she's pretty flexible in the hamstrings. If you're really tight, you can come up by the knee. Either way, wherever it feels good for you to grab some leverage, I want you to bend that left elbow. And pull. So now on these ones, your right arm is going to be strong and straight. We're driving energy through that tricep here. On the inhales, we're relaxing through the neck. On the exhales, we're turning the chest a little more, if it's available, to that side wall. Using that left arm strength, we'll switch sides. Right hand comes to the left. We're working the power of the breath. So every exhale, we're finding and feeling. Body weight's going to shift a little bit to that opposite side so that the heels stay nice and even and the torso continues to turn. So we're finding rotation. We're breathing into the rib cage. Go ahead and open back up into your dog. We'll stretch your right leg high to the sky, and we're gonna walk your hands back to your toes on the left. So again, if you were really tight, you would have 2 blocks set at the front of your mat and 1 or 2 blocks set at the back if you need it. So only use it if you need it, Mare. So if you needed a block, you could have your fingertips up on a block out in front of you if you need that. She's got length in her hamstrings to be right where she is. We're gonna bring your left hand behind your left calf, and then I want you to lengthen your spine and look out in front of you. Yeah, create the length in your back. Breathe in. As you exhale, fold yourself in. Bend that left elbow. Use that left bicep. Yeah, breathe into that left hamstring, that left glute. And we're gripping the toes, so think about distributing your weight nice and even throughout that whole foot, so that ball of the big foot is pressing down into the floor, and the head stays nice and relaxed. So where the eyes go, the body follows. We're looking to the wall that's behind you with your head, with your gaze, so that you can continue to find that forward fold. We're here for 5. So the inhales and exhales, we're working the power of the breath. We're getting a little closer on each one. 4, 3. Now we're gonna work a little balance challenge. So go ahead and bring your right hand behind your left calf. And I want you to bring your left arm out to the side wall and lift your upper back. Yeah, so now you're lifting away from the floor. She's got energy through that right leg. Reach through your toes. Extend and lengthen through the top of that foot. Now we're gonna bring your right arm out to the right side. We're in airplane. Let's bring the middle fingers to the back corners of the room. Palms stay to the floor. A little up dog. So when we come in up dog, the shoulders lift. That's fantastic. There's a slight bend in the knee. We're never locking out. But if you can get it straighter to go for the stretch, go for it without locking that knee. We're here for 5. We're turning that right hip down. 4, awesome. 3, for 2. Let's stand tall and sweep that right thigh up and grab that right knee and just hug your right knee up into your chest. So take it with 2 hands, and I want you to use your arm strength to lift it up and pull it in, because we're nice and warm now. So we're going inside that hip, and maybe you want to just circle through that ankle. You can just move it around and find mobility, because we'll keep working on the ankle, so it feels good sometimes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find a nice figure 4 back here. So catch the outer edge of that foot, cross it over, and we're going to keep your hand on the meaty part of your leg so that you can kind of stiff arm it away. So that's a real nice way to go into a little deeper stretch where you press your shoulder away from your wrist. We're going to flex those toes in, and then we're just going to reach the arms out, and we're going to drop into that figure 4 seated squat. So we're going to breathe into the hips for 5. That's beautiful. You can lower the arms down and lift the chest a little higher. For 4, so wrist and shoulders in a nice line. For 3, for 2, now if you want to go deeper into the stretch, bring your hands to your heart center. Find a deep breath in. As you exhale, you can bring the edge of your right elbow to the outside edge of your foot. So you can find a twist there. So this one is pretty advanced movement. So if you can't work the outer edge of your foot, you can take the twist. You could take your right hand and catch that foot, yeah, and reach that left arm open. So we're still driving back through the seat for 5. On the inhales, we're reaching up towards the sky. On the exhales, we're opening up through the shoulder. And sometimes weeble wobbles wobble, but they don't fall down. So you can have a little bit of fun with it too, because yoga's just really all about fun. There's no stress here. We're just having a good time. Let's slowly come back into that figure 4, wrist in line with the shoulders. Into warrior 3, we're going to push that right heel to the back wall. It's a lot of work for that left leg. She's working hard. Stretch in and reaching the arms out, flexing the toes in. 5, 4, 3, 2. 2 hands are in the floor. Walk along dog. Yeah, with a high right leg. So we're walking the hands all the way up. Right foot lunges through your hands. Left foot turns sideways, warrior 1. Let's reach the arms out to the side and come on up. So we're square here. Interlace your fingers overhead and extend your pointer fingers nice and high, Marilee, nice. And then what I want you to do is now we're working a strong back leg. We're finding energy through the outer edge of that foot. And she's also working mobility through the shoulders. So she's bringing her biceps as far back behind the ears as they'll go, just to breathe into those warm shoulders. And then let's find an inhale as you lengthen up. And on the exhale, we'll bring the upper body over to the right side. And it's really nice. She has that right knee stacked on top of the ankle so she can get that length through the glute. That's gorgeous. Come back center, beautiful. Separate the hands, breathe in. As you exhale, fold forward. We're in a high plank, phenomenal. And chaturanga, we're gonna lower down nice and slow. Up dog, we're gonna breathe it in, bringing the shoulder blades together, squeezing the thighs. Downward facing dog, we'll find the exhale. Bend the knees, step or float your feet. We're at the front of your mat. Find the lift halfway. We're breathing in. On the exhale, we're gonna fold in tight. Chair pose, we're gonna drop the squat. Chair pose, gorgeous. We're squeezing those thighs together, forward fold. Dive in tight. Halfway lift, we'll breathe in, get long through the back, step or jump back to your high plank. Let's come down nice and easy. We're gonna hold the chaturanga because it's such a beautiful pose. It's such a strong pose to work and hold. We're gonna hold it right here for 5. We're not putting any of that in a shoulder shrug for 4. We're tucking the pelvis. We're engaged through the abdominals for 3. For 2, upward facing dog. Let's breathe in a deep breath. Because you're strong enough, come back to your chaturanga. If it doesn't feel good, skip it, or you can be on your knees. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're in downward facing dog. Fantastic. Left leg is gonna get high. We'll slowly walk your hands back to your toes on the right. So once we come back here, the first thing I want you to do is really find that balance in the whole foot. So drive down through the ball of your left foot, grip with your toes a little bit, press some energy down through your heel. Right palm is gonna catch somewhere behind your leg. So Marilee's pretty flexible. If you were inflexible, if you didn't have a lot of flexibility, you can be way up here. You can have that hand way up here. Whatever's feeling good for you, you can have it way down by your ankle. So we're gonna grab on, lift up, look out to the front of your mat, create the length in your spine, breathe in. As you exhale, use that right arm to fold and feel. Dive in strong. So now every single breath, we're working the power of the pose. So you don't have to keep lifting up, but I want you to keep thinking about, on the exhales, folding stronger. And that left leg is energized. So don't let your left leg hang down to the floor. It's yours. Take it with you. There's a lot of energy in it. Let your brain drop because you don't want to strain your neck in this one. So you're looking to the back wall. We're pulling with strength in that right arm. 5, 4, 3, 2. She's got a good ujjayi breath on. Now we'll lengthen the spine again. We're going to take the left hand behind your right leg, and we're gonna bring your right middle finger out to the side wall. We're just gonna lift the chest and stay here. This is a balance challenge. We're gonna stay right here. That's gorgeous. Toes are reaching for 5, 4. Now we're gonna come into airplane. Bring the left arm back, a little up dog through the shoulders. There's active energy. Airplane is on fire. So she's lifting her arms up. She's got the triceps engaged. There's electricity through the fingertips, through the toes. Her glutes working for 5. She's breathing. 4, we're owning it. 3, 2, we're gonna cross into the figure 4. Come on up. Cross that foot over. See if you can drop into the seat. So we're flexing the toes back. We're gonna sit back a little bit and press that left palm on the inside of your left leg. Yeah, and give yourself the gift of just kind of pushing it away. So we'll lengthen through the back. We're sitting deep into the squat. Or breathe in ujjayi. So hopefully your heart rate's up at this point. You should be getting that heart rate up and getting into the sweat and the burn of it all. And the cardiovascular part of the practice, we'll reach the arms out, shoulders in line with the wrists. We're gonna drop the seat deeper if it's available. We're gonna lengthen through the upper back and breathe it for 5. We got a strong foot for 4, flexing those toes in for 3, for 2, and then slow and easy, we'll catch that knee, stand tall, and lift it up and pull it into your chest. And if you took a circle on one ankle, then you'll take a circle on the other side for 5, for 3, for 2. Go ahead and reach those arms up to the sky. Find a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, warrior 3, we're gonna push the heel to the back wall. I know we came into this in a different way on the other side. Middle fingers are reaching out. Thumbs are driving to the sky. So Marilee's sweating because she's doing some work here. We're turning that left hip down, and she's got that left leg up, and that left glute is on, and that's beautiful. 4, 3, for 2, hands hit the floor. Let's walk a long dog. Go ahead and create a little length here. Left foot lunges, right foot turns, arms stretch out to the side. We're in warrior 1. Let's come on up. So we're turning the chest square out in front of you. We'll interlace those fingers. She's gonna breathe here into her shoulder mobility. So those arms are up, and she's gonna stretch them back to where it feels good for her without leaning in your low back. So we're just moving through the shoulders on this one. That right quad is engaged. She's driving that right hip forward. That knee is stacked. It's gorgeous. Find a breath in. As you exhale, we'll bring the torso to the left. So you're reaching over to the side where the leg is out in front of you. Breathing into that right rib cage. 4, 3. For 2, we're coming back center, separate the hands, energies through the sky, so hands are separated. Shoulder width distance, we're gonna breathe in as you exhale, reach out and lower down, it's one fluid motion. Step back into your high plank. So Marilee, when she reaches back, brings both hands inside. You can sweep your foot through as well. So if you have the flexibility, you can keep that foot through. We're gonna find a chaturanga. Let's lower down nice and slow. Up dog, we'll breathe it in. Shoulder blades are pulling together. Chaturanga, we're coming back because there's work to be done here. Turn your right knee out to the right side wall. If you're new to this, you don't have to. Turn that knee out all the way. Take it up, yeah, and find the step back. And then bring that left knee out to the left side and step it back. Very nice. Up dog, let's breathe it in. And downward facing dog, we'll find the exhale, gorgeous. And we're just breathing. For 5, 4, 3, for 2, bend the knees and make your way up to the front of your mat. We're gonna find a lift halfway. We're breathing in. And as you exhale, forward fold, chair pose, drop the squat, chair pose. Marilee's hot. She doesn't want the heat on anymore, so we're gonna take care of that. So go ahead and bring your feet together and bring your knees away from your toes a little bit. So shift your knees back, squeeze your thighs together. Awesome. And then we're gonna lift up that right thigh up into your chest, and we're gonna catch your right foot. So I'm gonna modify. She's catching her foot because she's flexible enough to catch the foot. I'm catching the knee. So it's all about a tall upper back on this one. And then if you have that foot, you'll straighten that leg out. We're still gonna sit back into that seat, and we're gonna lift that leg up. So we're gonna work the power of your upper body strength, and we're gonna find your lower body length right here for 8, 7. If you want another challenge, you can close your eyes. So if you're already super advanced, there's a lot of things you can do. 4, 3 to spice it up. For 2, chair pose, we're gonna drop that foot, bring the hands to the heart center, palms pressed together. Let's breathe in. As you exhale, go ahead and find the edge of that left elbow to the outside edge of your right knee. So it's real important that you even the kneecaps out on this one. Pull that left kneecap back. And then we're gonna open it up. Left hand drops and the right arm reaches. So you can always reach down. You can have a block here if you like to work the leverage, or you can have your fingertips in the floor. Chair pose, we're gonna come up nice and slow. Squeezing the thighs, hands come to the heart center. We'll breathe it in as you exhale, edge of the right elbow. We're gonna pull that right kneecap back. Seat drops a little more, right hand drops. Left arm reaches. We're rolling back through that left rib cage for 5, 4, 3, 2. Forward fold, let's dive in. Step or float back to your high plank. And let's come down onto the forearms. So one forearm at a time. We're gonna bring the wrists in line with your elbows. And she's tucking her pelvis up. So we're gonna squeeze through the thighs and the glutes. So we're in a nice forearm plank position. We're pushing ourselves away from the floor. So drive energy down through the floor right now. You can relax through your fingertips or make 2 fists for 5, 4, 3. And now we're just gonna do a little step out where your right foot comes out to the right side with a little touch to the floor, and we'll bring it back center, and a little step to the left. The left foot comes out to the side, and we'll bring it back center. And then we'll take a little touch to the right side, and we'll come back center, and then we'll take it to the left, and we'll bring it back center. Let's go to the right. We have 2 more each way, and we'll bring it back center. And to the left, if you were modifying, you'd be on your knees, and we'll bring it back center. Let's take it out to the right, and come back center, and to the left, and we'll bring it back center. Let's hold that plank right here for 5, 4, 3. Slow and easy, bring the knees down, then lower the pelvis. Ah, nice. And then we're just gonna relax cheek to one side. So let's just let it go here for a moment. Cheek to one side. Bring your arms to relax wherever they feel good. And let the top of your feet relax into the floor. And then let's go ahead and reach your right arm out in front of you. Yeah, and we're gonna bend your left knee. And then we'll go ahead and reach that left hand back. And we're gonna start to slowly use your right palm to press into the floor, Mare, to lift your chest up. Yeah, and then we'll lift that left knee. We're kicking back through that foot. We're dropping the chin in. So I want you to stay long through that cervical spine, right? I don't need you looking out in front of you. Just keep it down. We're pulling through that delt right now. We're inside of that pec. So the shoulder, we're breathing into the chest. We're inside that quad. We're gonna tuck that knee in a little bit. Keep the kick on for 5. Keep using the energy to press through that right palm. 4, 3, you can use the ball of that right foot. She's not using it because she's got a toe thing. You could keep it relaxed, but you could have energy back there too for 2. And then we're gonna relax cheek to the other side. So go ahead and just let everything drop. So now's the moment where the work that you've done is just kind of running through the body. Let it feel good. And we're gonna take that to the other side. So chin is neutral. We're on the balls of the feet, if that feels good. Left palm's gonna reach out, right hand's reaching back. If you catch the inside of your foot, you'll have a little more flexibility, mobility through that shoulder. If you catch the big toe side where she is, if you can only reach it on the outside or grab your pant leg, or certainly you can use your ankle. Now we're gonna use energy through the ball of your left foot. Start to press your left palm up. Start to lift your chest away from the floor. So that left hand can get closer and closer towards you if it feels good to lift yourself higher and higher. And the right leg is gonna lift, and we're gonna keep that right knee coming in to the center of the body, and we're gonna roll open through that right shoulder. And we're breathing. She's in Ujjayi, full deep breaths. What feels good for her? Inhales and exhales for 5. Open that shoulder, feel it, 4, 3. Lengthen and breathe it for 2. Child's pose. Let's take a seat back. So go ahead and sit back and let your knees open up. Relax your chest into the floor. And here we're just, child's pose is home base. So we're just chilling out. Everything's just chill. And then let's go ahead and come on into your down dog. And we'll stretch that right leg up to the sky. Sweep your right knee up to your right wrist, and your right ankle comes up to your left wrist. So we're gonna cross that over into half pigeon. So make sure the knee feels comfortable here. You're only gonna bring that ankle up as far as the knee feels comfortable. The back knee is in the floor, and the toes are turned in towards that opposite hip. And then we're gonna bring the torso slightly to the right. So walk your upper body a little bit over towards that right knee, and then you'll find an inhale. On the exhale, you'll fold down and just let it feel good. We're turning that left hip in towards your right heel, and we're just breathing into that psoas. So if the knee doesn't feel good in the floor, you can always slide a block or a little towel under your thigh if that doesn't feel good. For some people, the kneecap doesn't feel great inside the floor, so you can always do that. And if it feels better, you can let your whole chest drop to the floor and stretch your arms straight out if that feels better for you. So remember, we're not looking for a perfect pose. We are trying to stay in alignment on things. But once you start to drop down and get yourself into that alignment, then you want to start to allow yourself to really get the benefit of being long and lengthening and allowing yourself to enjoy creating that space. We'll bring ourselves back into your dog, and we'll stretch the left leg up nice and high. Sweep the left knee up to your left wrist. Left ankle comes up towards the right. Check in with that knee. We're gonna square that right hip down. We're gonna turn the back of that right foot. And then we're gonna bring your torso just a little bit to the left, and we'll find a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, we'll find a fold. And keep in mind, one side cooperates more than the other. Maybe you're going a little bit further. Maybe you're backing off a little bit. We're turning that right hip. We're breathing into the glutes here. We're inside the hips. That's really nice, Mare. And then nice and easy. Let's stay on that left seat, and we'll bring that right leg around. And we're gonna take our strap. So if you don't have a strap, you can use a little towel. She's got a little towel here, or she can work with a strap. So take either one, and we're gonna lie back into the floor. So just have your towel or your strap close by. And I want you to just get flat on the floor without it. So just leave it next to you. And just reach your arms overhead and straighten your legs nice and long. So this is just a feel good here. And if you're doing a practice with somebody, someone can grab, you can go ahead and let someone grab your wrists, and you can just pull them out a little bit because now you're nice and warm. Create a little length through the shoulders. But if you're by yourself, it's your own energy that you're creating. Reach your toes out. Find a big inhale. As you exhale, just let it go. So now your arms will fall where they feel good. So if they feel good overhead, great. If your shoulders are really tight and they feel uncomfortable, don't leave it there unless you feel like you're working on opening up through the shoulders and it feels good. Relax through the vertebrae. We're just relax through the face right now, chilling out for a moment, giving yourself the opportunity to come back into that natural rhythm of breath. And then we'll take our strap and we're going to catch your right foot up to the sky. So if you're really tight, you'll bend your left knee and you can keep your left heel up by your glute. If it feels better, you can keep a straight left leg. We're working with a straight right leg as best as it feels good. So I take one hand on either side of your strap, and then on the inhales, we'll straighten the leg. We'll check in with how straight your leg is without locking that knee. On the exhales, we'll find a little love and pull it back. So just through your breathing, that's where your movement comes from. Your inhales, we're checking in a little bit. Maybe that leg's a little straighter. The exhales, maybe so we're here to find a little bit of something, right? Work in the pose. Giving yourself the gift of work in the pose. That's where the cardiovascular builds up. That's where you find the depths of being able to get inside those warm muscles, because we've warmed it up. So now what you want to do is you want to get in there using your props. Give yourself the gift of getting in there and moving it around a little bit. So we'll take your right hand with both sides of the strap and we'll drop your left palm to the left side and we'll drop into that left shoulder. Find a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to bring that right leg over to your right. Just as far as it feels good, we're going to do the same thing. On the inhales, we'll push energy through the heel and straighten the leg. On the exhales, we're using the right arm strength just to strive. And remember, you're not like gritting your teeth and, jamming on anything. It's just a nice way to get a little bit more length, so use the power of something to create the length of another. Toes are coming up towards the wall that's over your head for 5, 4, 3. We'll bring that leg back center and we're going to let your left hand take the strap. We'll reach your right arm out, find a big breath in. As you exhale, guide over only as far as it feels good. So if it feels good to turn your whole torso to rotate your hips, you can certainly do that. If it doesn't, you can keep it a lot less. So a lot of us are really tight, including myself, inside that piriformis and inside the hamstrings and in the IT band. So also be gentle where you need to. She's still working her pose. She's working the breathing for 5, 4. The exhales are finding a little bit of something. Or sometimes once we've been here for a little bit, the exhales are telling you to back off. So just stay in tune with that mind body. You want to be connected. Don't let yourself drift off. It's real easy to do. We're going to bring that leg back up to the sky and let your left leg come up and steal the strap from your right. We'll relax that right leg down. Again, you can bend that right knee if it feels better. We'll take one hand on either side of that strap. On the inhales, we're pushing the heel up. We're creating length all the way down into the glute. On the exhales, we'll find a little love, find a little pull. We're breathing into it. And this is also a nice way to just give your biceps a little more of an opportunity to work. For 5. Toes are flexed in towards the face so that you can let that run up through the Achilles as well. So we're keeping that active foot. For 3. For 2. Left hand's going to take both sides of the strap. Right arm's going to drop. Big breath in. As you exhale, we're going left. And we'll work it here. Does that feel good? Yeah. We're striving to get the toes up. Yeah, we're breathing into it. 4, 3. For 2, we'll bring it back center. We'll switch. Breathe in. As you exhale, we're going to guide it over. If it feels good, you'll turn and rotate through the hip. We're bringing the toes. We're pressing down through the left shoulder blade. for 3, for 2. We'll bring that leg back center. We're gonna lose the strap and find happy baby. So we're taking either the inside or the outer edges, whatever feels better for you, of our feet, and we're gonna stack your ankles as best you can on top of your knees. And now this one, on the inhales, we're just relaxing through the vertebrae. On the exhales, we're pulling with the arm strength to drive your thighs closer to the floor. We're gonna breathe in into the hips. Beautiful. Then let's cross your right knee over your left. So the right knee comes over the left as much as it will. We're gonna lift the upper body up and catch the outer edges of your feet. Once you catch your feet, we'll relax the head down. If it's available, I want you to slide that left knee to your ankle. If that's available, we'll get a deeper stretch there. So now the inhales, again, we're just filling up the lungs, feeling your spine into your mat. The exhales, we're pulling your feet back towards your shoulders. So we're going deeper into that glute, using the arm strength to pull. So give yourself 3 good inhales and exhales here. Beautiful. Then we'll reverse the cross. So now left over the right. Lift up, catch the outer edges of the feet. If you can't catch your feet, you can use a strap on the outside edges so you could wrap that around if you couldn't catch them. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to let your heels drop down to the floor, because then you lose a lot of that stretch. I see this a lot of times. So pick those feet up. Yeah, slide that knee down and then work the pose here. Inhaling and exhaling, keeping your head nice and relaxed. And then let's go ahead and hug your right knee into your chest. We'll straighten your left leg. And these are always an opportunity, these poses, to find mobility through the ankle. If it feels good, you can move it around. If you don't need it, so we build up some air inside the ankle joint. You'll hear it crack from time to time. It just feels good to release it. So we're pulling in, pull in opposite hand to knee. Stretch your right arm out to the right. Breathe in. As you exhale, we're gonna guide that knee over to your left. Let your right ear drop to the right. And then you'll bring your hand on top of that leg so you can just use it to press down a little bit. And that feels really nice in your low back. And then slowly we'll come back and we'll catch that left knee, relax through the right leg. There you go, a little crack in, little movement. Right hand's gonna pull in, left arm reaches, breathe it in as you exhale, easy guide. Let it feel good, very nice. We're pressing down through that left shoulder. And then we're gonna come back center and let it all go. So what I'd like you to do is bring your legs a little bit, left and right. So out a little bit to the side. Let the back of the knees drop into the floor, and then let your arms find a place where they feel good, where you can relax through your fingertips, through your shoulder blades. We're gonna close our eyes and relax through your face and release through your teeth if they're clenched together. Relax through your jaw. And then let's find a real big breath in. Let your chest get high to the sky, and on the exhale, I want you to start to think about the weight of your head dropping into the floor. Think about every vertebrae just touching down, releasing through your pelvis, relaxing through your shoulders, through your elbows, through your toes. And as you let your eyes roll back into their socket and you let your cheeks drop back towards the floor, let's take this moment for gratitude. So an opportunity, a beautiful opportunity for you to be here on your mat and to only let the things that you feel grateful for come into your mind space. So if something else starts to come in, kind of sweep it out and only let the thoughts of gratitude come into your mind. And this is a real nice place to stay for 5 minutes. If you can stay for 5 minutes, let yourself relax into the floor and enjoy your gratitude. Beautiful work. Namaste.